The national champion is clad in big orange.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. The national champion is clad in big orange.
Pat Summit and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. In the air, right center field. Ross on the move. Will get there. Tennessee walks it off. Simple step. Deep three. Come on now. And don't connect. Robbie Draghi this time. Indeed. New hand jam. Down the middle. Got it. The fly is high and again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top, this is college football at its absolute best.
College athletics is absolute best. And it might not feel like it as of late, though, but, you know, it still is. Because, I mean, we're Tennessee. We're obviously the best. Maybe. Anyway, it is great to be here tonight, even though it has been a little bit of a down week as of late. But I'm Michael, my co-host Skylar. Man, Skylar, how we doing tonight? How we doing over this past week or two?
Well, you know, aside from most of my Vol brethren and sisters in Christ, I actually had a really good week. Again, this is more personal, but me and my wife celebrated 9 years together over the weekend.
Congratulations, man.
On Saturday. Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy to think that we've been together for 9 years, married for 3.5 of those. And yeah, dude, it's a blessing, bro. And then obviously it was her birthday the day before, or the day after, I'm sorry. So yeah, I screwed myself over back then, 9 years ago, doing the whole birthday get together and Valentine's Day, like within the week.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
Yeah, the wallet's hurting. Okay, the wallet is absolutely hurting. We've actually made this agreement like 6 years ago. I was like, babe, love you to death. We're doing one thing. Like it's going to be all wrapped up together in 1 week, and you're probably going to get like one big gift or whatever, but it's going to be for all three. Okay, like I love you, but not that much.
So it's kind of like whenever you get a birthday, like within a couple of days of Christmas, it's like, look, you're getting both of them in one. It's not going to be two separate things.
And both of my brothers, unfortunately, had that life. You know, my middle brother actually is January 6th birthday, so he's kind of like close enough to Christmas. And then my youngest brother's December 20th, and he's been screwed his whole life. Like me, I'm perfectly blessed being in a June month, right? So it's like every 6 months, bro, I'm getting presents. But that was at least until I turned like 18, 19. And then, you know, obviously that stopped. But like, regardless, you know, it's just, you count your blessings, okay? But no, that was my weekend. Had a blast, got to enjoy it with her. But overall, I'm glad that was going on, because I'm telling you right now, man, what a disappointment from almost every sport. Almost. And by the way, before we get too deep into this, man, and before I even give off our sponsors, for everybody tuning in, we appreciate y'all being here. I think we already got some folks in the chat. Tennessee Football 247 says, don't like the spot that we're in right now in basketball. We play good some nights, and then we don't. And I completely agree with that. Tennessee Football, he says one more time, but I got baseball to save me. And look, baseball, I think, is going to be competitive. I think baseball is going to be competitive, but I'm telling you, the team that may actually bring it home this year will be the softball team. And we're going to talk about that. They're looking fine as wine. They're looking, and we're going to talk about it, but they're looking mid-season / postseason form already in week 1. And yes, I'm overreacting, but they played some really good competition and made them look like absolute dog crap. I mean, they played amazing. But we're going to get into that. Michael, if you would like to tell me how your week went before I ask you for the rundown.
You know, my week this past week, it wasn't too bad. Nothing too eventful. This week's going to be a little bit different, though, as, you know, you're celebrating a birthday in your family, also anniversary, got Valentine's Day coming up. I've also got a birthday in my family tomorrow, as my little man is turning 1 year old tomorrow. Big number one. And then this weekend, we're going to take a nice little trip down to Atlanta, take him to the aquarium down there in Atlanta, have a nice little family weekend trip. So really looking forward to that and hoping that my Vols can also come together with a nice weekend as well. So no, really looking forward to this week and celebrating him. Got some pictures that we'll post tomorrow. Had chocolate for the first time tonight. We did some chocolate chip pancakes for him. And a little bit of mixed feelings on that one. He needless to say, he got messy with it, got chocolate all over him. Couldn't really tell if he liked it necessarily, but I'm sure he will before it's all said and done.
That's what I'm talking about, man. What a beautiful life, man. Rich is the word. That is awesome, brother. Well, it's good to hear it. I'm going to let you guys know now who our presenting show sponsor is before we get into the rundown, and that is, and you see it at the top of the screen, but it's Chris Smith Insurance. As a homeowner, Chris Smith was once let down by an insurance company, so he started his own agency where instead of feeling like a big company is always fighting against you, you'll know that your agent is at least fighting for you. All insurance is not equal. Trust the Chris Smith Insurance today. Give him a call at 865-272-3387. Again, guys, Chris, located at Oak Ridge, Tennessee, is not just going to find you the best rates. A lot of agents can do that, and he can certainly do that, but he's also going to find you the best coverage. So that way, just in case that accident does happen. I mean, the reason why we have insurance, right? The last thing you want to be worried about is if something's going to be properly covered. And a quick example for that is like contents, right? Like a lot of people just slap $25,000 in contents coverage on a policy and call it good. But here's the thing. If you're like me, one closet alone that's got a certain safe in it can chew through about $25,000 in contents immediately. And we're not even talking about the living room, this room that I'm in right here, or anything like that. So make sure you get with Chris, have him audit your policy, make sure you're properly covered. And at the end of the day, it's all for peace of mind here. That's why you have insurance. We appreciate you, Chris, for your continued support of the channel. Michael, it's going to be a down show for most of it. It's going to be an up show for probably I don't know what order you're going to do it in, but give us the rundown, Michael. What are we talking about today? Are we even mentioning the Super Bowl?
The what?
Exactly. All right, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
No, I don't
know. I don't know what that is.
I was talking about the potty break. The reason why we were late. No, I'm joking. That was actually, again, not my fault. And it's really not even your fault, Michael. I think the blame needs to go to the right person, and that is that beautiful young child that is about to be a year old. I mean, he's basically a grown man. He needs to actually take some accountability out. He needs to go to bed. Honestly, that's all it is.
That's exactly right. I mean, he knows that dad he's got to talk about some ball, but he wants to stay up. And he wants to watch. As much as I'd love to bring him on, obviously he'd probably get fussy, and I know mom wants him to be down during that time. But hopefully soon he'll be able to stay up and he'll be able to join us some, especially whenever he starts really talking where we can understand him, because he's already babbling away, getting ready to start his own podcast.
I was just about to say, I think I'm going to have to retire because you're probably going to kick me off the show once he's ready to. It's just going to be you, Jake, and your son, man. That's just going to be great. It's fine.
I don't know. He might take my spot. You never know. He might just say, Dad, I'm taking over as the speaker. You're just going to be the editor.
That's right.
So whatever the case may be.
That's right.
But
you better know your place. That's all that matters.
That's exactly right. So now tonight we're going to I'll let you choose which one you want to go first with, Lady Vols or men's.
Let's see. Let's go men's because that was a little bit later. Lady Vols is a little bit more fresh. Let's go men's first. That happened on Saturday night. Let's do that.
So, all right, we'll talk about men's basketball in segment 1. Segment 2, we're going to talk about the Lady Vols basketball. And in both of those, we're going to discuss what do we think some of the problems is for Tennessee basketball, just in general. Segment 3, we're going to talk about LSU, Missouri, and Vanderbilt and how their seasons went. We're also going to talk a little bit towards the end about Tennessee softball, their successful weekend, and give a slight preview for Tennessee baseball and kind of give our projections, who we think is going to be the starting lineup for game 1. I will already say the starting pitching rotation is not 100% what I thought it was going to be, but we'll talk all about that towards the end of the episode. But before we do that, I want to give you our segment 1 sponsor, which is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. You can contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So Tennessee, man, we basically recap the game from last Tuesday night when we were live. Yeah. So we get to talk all about that debacle in Lexington. Twice in 21 days that Tennessee gave up a double-digit lead and allowed Kentucky to come back and defeat them. And Skylar, what are your opening thoughts on this game here?
All the progress that we've been making, especially in the last 4 weeks, in my opinion, just went out the window, just down the drain. I think that's my initial thought. But then I backpack that with maybe we just have a Kentucky problem. And that bothers me because I don't like Kentucky. Nobody does. And I think it bothers me more the way it's happening. I think the way that you were literally up by 17 at home, choked that game away. Then you're up by, I believe, 14 on the road. And you have one of the worst second half performances or worst half performances you've had of the season. Just can't happen. It's frustrating. Don't even feel like they outplayed you that much other than the fact that you just couldn't finish the game. You were in really good spot, right? If you could have won this game, you would have been 7-3 in the conference, just a game and a half back of Florida because obviously they played, or they'd have been 8-2. Yeah, so you'd have been a full game back, sitting in second place, tied with a couple teams, whatever. But you would have been sitting in a really good spot. And instead, you take another loss on the road. You've now got 4 losses in the conference. And at this point, it's kind of put you up against the wall as far as like if you really want that bye in the SEC tournament, if you really want a top 4 seed in the big tournament, you're going to have to rattle off wins. And I mean like all of the wins at this point. Like there's no choice in my opinion. So, but as far as this game alone, it's frustrating because I mean you had a really good game out of Nate Mint. He tied a career high 29 points. Once again, putting in the work. But I think he just needed help. I think Dwayne Brown only getting 2 points, going 1 of 6. And then you had Bishop Boswell going 2 of 5. Jacoby Gillespie didn't have his best of days, going 4. I mean, he did go 4 of 11 from the 3-point line, but overall only having 15 points. But the biggest thing is not necessarily the amount of points JP Estrella had, but the amount of misses. So between Dwayne Brown, JP Estrella, Felix Apara, he only went 1 of 2, but Amari Evans going 0 for 4. You just had all those guys, and especially on the putback type plays, right? Getting the offensive rebound, trying to put the ball back in the bucket. We just couldn't do that. I don't know why we had such a problem with it, but could not find the bucket. Again, Dwayne Brown going 1 of 6. You got JP Estrella going 4 of 13. Jacoby Gillespie went 5 of 15. Bishop Boswell 2 of 5. And then Amari Evans 0 of 4. Jalen Carey, by the way, 20 minutes in the game. Did not attempt a field goal.
Yeah.
That's your problem, man. That's a problem. Your bigs did not come through this game. And I will say it like I've been saying. I mean, it's great that Nate Mint is playing so well. But we've said it all year that this team's going to have to play inside out. And when their inside's not there, you can't expect a win. And they tried. I mean, they shot their way through it in the first half, got out to a big lead because shots were, they were hitting them. But in that second half, you truly seen what it's like for Tennessee when their bigs are not having a great game. And it's unfortunate that they all had a bad game at the same time. That blows my mind. I don't know. But what about you, Michael? Do you have any, I guess, different input as far as what I'm seeing or what I thought? I'm not the basketball guy, but that's just what I seen live and then versus what I'm seeing on the stat sheet. I didn't realize the shooting was that bad.
Yeah, you mentioned that you think that Tennessee might have a Kentucky problem, and I'm not going to say they have a Kentucky problem, but I am going to say that Kentucky has exposed the problem that Tennessee has, and we know what that problem is. It's just been kind of hidden over the last couple of weeks with how well Tennessee has played. Everyone goes through Nate Mint and Jacoby Gillespie, and if one or both of them is not scoring, Tennessee is dead in the water. I mean, you look, Nate Mint, 29 points. And in the first half, he had 19, and Jacoby Gillespie had 14. And everything was just cooking. In the first half alone, Tennessee had 47 points. They shot 53.1% from the field, 53.3% from the three-point line. So they shot a total of 17 of 32, 8 of 15 from the three-point line. Jacoby Gillespie, 4 of 8 from 3. Nate Ament, 4 of 6 from 3. The problem is that was that 33 of your 47 points came from 2 players, and you had JP Estrella with 7, Bishop Boswell with 4. There's 11 more, so that gets you up to 44. Jalen Carey with 1, Felix Akpara with 2. That's 47 right there. And in the second half,
I was saying, if that's true, that means you had several players on your team go 0 points in the second half.
In the second half,
and Jacoby Gillespie only getting 1 point in the second half.
Yes, Nate Ament with 10, Bishop Boswell with 6, JP Estrella with 4, Dwayne Brown with 2, Amari Evans with 1, Jacoby Gillespie with 1.
That's so bad. That is so bad.
That is awful. And it doesn't help that Kentucky shot 50% for the entire game.
No, they shot really well, which is so unfortunate.
And you know, where Tennessee has struggled at times against Kentucky over the last couple of years is Kentucky has shot well, but they've also shot well from 3. And this is one of those games where Kentucky didn't. They literally out-physicaled you, especially in the paint.
And they didn't even do good free throws.
No, neither team shot well from the free throw line, but they outscored you in the paint, an area that you should be dominating. 44-24.
In the paint, which is even crazier because you out-rebounded them 46-31, and then offensively, you out-rebounded them 19-8.
That's the sad thing is you out-rebounded them 19-8, but Kentucky had more second chance points than you did. 14-12.
Unbelievable.
That's awful. That's just more effort by Kentucky than by Tennessee. So, like I said, you've got a Nate Ament and a Jacoby Gillespie problem. You don't have a Kentucky problem. All Kentucky did was expose that problem twice, mind you, this season, because when they shut those 2 players down, the other players on the court cannot step up and win a game for Tennessee.
But I'm not even going to say Nate Ament was a problem. I mean, I felt like even 10 points in the second half, sure, that's not near the output that he was putting in or in the first half, but like still 10 points and a half, 20 points in a game, like that's okay. Like, I'm not worried about that. But Jacoby Gillespie getting 1 point, Felix Akpara getting 0, Jalen Carey getting 0, Mari Evans getting 0 points. I think JP Estrella maybe gotten 3 or 4 points in the like all these people that are supposed to be helping in the second, like just no-showed in the second half. Absolutely no-showed. I mean, think about it. You got 24 points in the second half, right? So yeah. Nate Ament was 10 of them. Nate Ament was 10 of them. JP Estrella was 4 of them. That leaves 10 points scattered across another 7 players. Can't happen. That just can't happen. It was a terrible game. I said it. And honestly, even when we win, I'm telling you, and I've messaged you over and over, like these cold spells that we have on offense, kill us. And this is exactly what happened. I mean, this is, you go scoreless for 3, 4, 5 minutes of game time, which is, you know, depending on the media timeout and whatnot, could be like literally 15 to 20 minutes of actual time that you've not even made a bucket. And that's mentally exhausting. And they are just not strong enough to overcome it right now.
Yeah, so let's look at the second half, which is where the drought that you're talking about came from. So Tennessee and Kentucky kind of going back and forth towards the beginning, first couple of minutes of the game. You know, Kentucky chipping away slightly, but Tennessee still scoring towards the beginning of the half. And you get to the 14:38 mark of the second half where Tennessee is up by 10 after Bishop Boswell knocks down 2 free throws. You get Diabate with 2. Diabate with 2. You get 2 free throws from Jasper Johnson. You get a 2 off of a turnover by Otega Owe. It's 57-55 in 5 minutes of game time. It takes another 31 seconds for Tennessee to finally score a bucket off of a Dwayne Dwayne Brown layup. So at that point, it's a 4-point game. And from there, it's back and forth, but really neither team scoring very well at this point. Tennessee's lucky to start making.
It was
Yeah,
5 minutes a game.
5.5 minutes. 5.5 minutes.
And honestly, if we're going to be a little bit more dramatic, it's almost 7 minutes and you only get 3 points, because at the 16:40 mark is when you finally got to 54. I mean, and you were scoring, right? You got to 54. It was 54-41 at 16:40 in the second half. And you're at 57-55 at 9:32. That's
Tennessee.
bad.
Tennessee
so
in
bad.
Tennessee in the last 14 and a half minutes of the game scored 14 points. They had 57 points after the 2 made free throws from Bishop Boswell at the 14:38 mark, and you finished with 71 points. That is terrible.
That's another thing. We only got really a lot of our points from free throws.
Yeah, you only made 6 field goals the entire second half.
That's so bad. Oh my goodness. And it's not even like Kentucky went crazy. I mean, sure, they had a 41-point second half, but it's I don't know, whatever.
Kentucky had an all-around fantastic game. They played a complete game. Look, in the first half, wow, I did not realize just how evenly. So Kentucky in the first half, they had 33 points on 14 of 28 shooting. In the second half, they had 41 points off of 14 of 28 shooting. The only difference was in the second half. So in the first half, they shot awful from the free throw line. 3 of 9 from the free throw line. In the second half, 10 of 13 from the free throw line.
There it is. Tennessee drops to Kentucky yet again. Very reminiscent of last year, as we went 0-2 against them in the regular season. However, if Vol fans want something to hold on to, we did beat them in the Sweet 16 to make it to our second straight Elite 8. And at this point, I'm ready to play them in the postseason, because there was a quote dropped by one of our players in the post game. Now, it doesn't matter because you need to do all your talking on the court, but even they feel like they are way better of a team than Kentucky. They just can't figure out a way to get it done on the scoreboard. Maybe they can do it in the biggest stage, either in the SEC tournament or in the Big Dance, which is where I want to see it. But overall, Tennessee now drops to 6-4 in the conference. They're now tied for a cluster at 5th place in the league. Still not out of it, technically. I mean,
I was going to say, you want some good news about this Tennessee team. They've still got everything in front of them, because really, it's not that strong of a conference slate down the stretch whenever you look at it.
Well, it's not, but the SEC in general is so balanced this year. I feel like you got teams beating everybody. I mean, you've got, I don't know, Florida seems to be playing a lot better, as we got into conference play, but even they were kind of slow to get started. But I mean, you just got, literally every team in the conference to this point, 10 games into the SEC slate, have 2 losses. I mean, Florida's got 2 losses and everybody else has 3 or more. So, I mean, it's a balanced league. I mean, really, and it's going to be hard to.
When you look at the rest of Tennessee's schedule, I don't see a guaranteed loss on there. I actually see 5 games that should be automatic wins. You've got Mississippi State on the road tomorrow night. I know it's tough to play there, but that should be a win. Mississippi State is not near as good as they have been. They do still have name is slipping me off the top of my head, but they've got the dude that they have had for the last several years, Joshua Hubbard. That's his name. Still got him, but that's about all they got. You got LSU at home on Saturday. Then you play Oklahoma at home next week. That is on Wednesday. The next game that is a toss-up, in my mind, is that Vanderbilt game at Vanderbilt 2 Saturdays from now.
And if I've got to be real here, you played Vanderbilt twice in the last 5 games.
I think
I almost feel like one of those you're dropping.
And I'm thinking it's probably that game at Memorial. If I was a betting man, which, sometimes, yeah, I would say that game at Memorial, that's a loss. Do you go to Como, play against Missouri? That should be a win.
That should be a win.
That Alabama game, that's another toss-up. You get them at home this time, you beat them
And
on the road.
I was going to say it's the second round, too, so I'm not feeling great about that just because beating a team twice, any sport, it's pretty tough to do. So I don't like our chances in that game either. But then
that
you
game
follow
at
that up
South
with,
Carolina should be a win.
That should be a win. And then
you get the season finale against Vanderbilt.
Hopefully you beat them. Man, hopefully you beat them.
I feel like you said, I think we split against Vanderbilt. And then that Alabama game, that's the real, you got to circle that one on your schedule right there. That's a big one, especially with it being at home. I'm not going to say it's a must win, but it's pretty much a must win against Alabama at home. You just got to take care of these road games. So
if I was a betting man, I'm
5
looking
wins.
5 wins.
Well, 5 guarantee.
1, 2, 3,
I see. I'm going to say 6 wins in the last 8.
8 games left in the slate. We got a month left of basketball, regular season at least. Man, March Madness is right around the corner. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if I was a bet man myself, I'm looking at Tennessee going, I guess 22-9 overall. I think they would. I think they're going to drop at least 2 more games in this final stretch of 8, just because you play Vanderbilt twice and you do have that second round against Alabama. I don't want to overlook LSU or Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma, I think that is a win, but you still don't want to overlook anybody in the SEC just because. I don't know, but you're right. LSU, Oklahoma, both, and Mississippi State, really 3 of the 4 worst teams in the league, for being honest. And LSU's down there too. So I mean, you really do have a favorable schedule. You ain't wrong about that. But here's the thing about Tennessee: it doesn't matter who they're playing. I feel like they kind of play up and down in their competition. So literally doesn't matter if you're playing South Carolina, Oklahoma, LSU, Mississippi State. Again, all 4 of those teams, bottom of the league. It doesn't matter because your chances are you're probably going to play down to their level. And at that point, it's going to be a slugfest. We know Tennessee basketball. They hardly ever blow out anybody. The game against Ole Miss was insane. Couldn't believe it. I haven't seen a Rick Barnes team beat a team like that in...
It's been a minute.
I'm trying to look. South Carolina State, 105-54. Because, I mean, you beat Texas by 14. But that was, I don't know. And you controlled Texas. I'm not going to say you didn't, outright beat them. But still, overall, usually Rick Barnes teams, if they get the win, it's within 5 to 10 points, if not closer. So, no, man, it's going to be a tough finish to the season. But you got to get to 20 wins. I mean, you're kind of running into territory of 6, 7 seed if you don't get to 20 wins, in my opinion.
Yeah, Rhonda asked, Oklahoma did beat Vanderbilt, right? Yes, they did. That was a shocking win in Memorial the other night. Vanderbilt did almost come back and win that game, though. But
I was gonna say, I don't they caught Vanderbilt when they were bad shooting night, because I wouldn't expect Vanderbilt to play like that much more. They're a good team, guys. They started the season undefeated completely. I think they started out 19-0 or something, like stupid. 19-0 is not accurate. They started out the season 14-0 maybe. Granted, they're now 19-4, so technically in SEC play, yeah, they're 6-4 in SEC play, but that's exactly where Tennessee's at. So it's gonna be tough. But Mississippi State, LSU is what we got for this week, as we have a Wednesday night game. Mississippi State, that's nice. They're not playing while we're trying to go live here. ESPN2 at Mississippi State in Stark Vegas, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be 8 Central for you guys in the Mid-State. Man, that's got to be a win. I don't know what the line's at sitting currently. That's got to be a win. It's got to be. Especially, man, if you lose 2 in a row to a team you're not supposed to lose, it's going to get ugly, I think, on Rocky Top. So need to go out there and take care of business.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you've got everything in front of you. You got a chance to, complete your goals for the regular season, get to where you need to in the postseason, but you've got to figure out the scoring. I need, let Nate Ament keep doing what he's doing. I'm not asking for 29.
43% on the year, by the way, Nate Ament. Field goal
shooting
percentage. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He's finishing at the rim a lot better, man.
Yeah,
He's taking the M1s. He's not just, like losing the ball. Like our bigs, man. We got to hold on to the ball, dude. I don't know. Whatever. Get back to your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Nate, man, give me 15 to 20 a night. Jacoby Gillespie, give me somewhere around 15 a night. But then here's what I need. I need 2 or 3 guys from Bishop Boswell to JP Estrella, Jalen Carey, Felix Okpara, Amari Evans. I need 2 or 3 guys to give me 8 to 12 a night to go along with the 15 to 20 I'm getting from Gillespie, the 15 to 20 I'm getting from Ament. Because if you get 8 to 12 from any other guy, from 2 or 3 of those guys out there, then Tennessee is going to be hard to beat each and every night. You keep doing what you're doing on the glass offensively and defensively. HYFT, hit your freaking free throws.
Shout out Bishop Boswell, 6 to 6.
Bishop Boswell is very good from the free throw line. But then you've got to take advantage of those offensive rebounds and win on the second chance points. Tennessee right now, especially against Kentucky, they just got out physicaled. You cannot get out physicaled against a team because then they're gonna beat you. So all I'm asking for is you got to find that identity again that you found, midway through the season when you were playing well before you started having some of these issues come up. That's what I need from Tennessee.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, Bishop Boswell almost got a double-double against Kentucky as he had 10 points, 8 rebounds. I don't know, man. I think I'm chalking it up, and maybe I'm wrong, but I was pissed off at the end of this game, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just say that I truly believe this team's really good and they can be really good. But they just have a Kentucky problem. I mean, you take away the 2 losses against Kentucky by a combined 5 points. And this team's only 2 losses is to Florida and Arkansas. I mean, that in the SEC, that is. And those 2 teams, along with Kentucky, and for being honest, the 3 teams that Tennessee has lost to in the SEC are sitting top 3 in the SEC. So, but here's the problem I have. I feel like Tennessee should be up there. So, like, that's my problem that I have trying to say, because that's something I do with football a lot. Like, especially this last year when we went 8-4, and 4 of our losses, arguably, Vanderbilt could have been in the playoff. I mean, they went 10-2. Tennessee went 10-2, and especially with the way they beat us at the end of the year, like, no way I didn't think that they weren't going to be like in a more serious contention for the playoff. And if that were to happen, you would have had literally Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt in the playoff, which have been in your 4 losses. And to me, I almost try to measure that like it's more reasonable that we lost. And that's a bad way to do it, because at the end of the day, I don't care how good they are. You should be up there with them as well. But if Tennessee can lock in, maybe because Kentucky owns us, we can get back to owning Vanderbilt. And I think that would be the best case scenario for Rick Barnes and this team for the remainder of the season. If we can just turn the corner, and not even really turn the corner, but just take care of business. And then against Vanderbilt, if you could sweep Vanderbilt and maybe go 7-1 in the final 8 games, you're going to be sitting pretty for all your goals at the end of the year.
Yep. 100%, man. So, you got anything else on Tennessee men before we move over to the lady side of things?
No, I'm gonna double down though. They gotta beat Mississippi State. They gotta, and they better do it by like 7-8 points. Like, it better be an easy-ish win. If
it's funny that you said that, because the line is sitting at 7.5 right now. Tennessee favored.
Full disclosure, I had no idea that was the line. So, like, that's. Should I take the? I shouldn't take them to cover. They never cover when I take them.
That's a line I would not touch.
That's exactly why I'm gonna touch it, baby. No, I'm joking. Yeah, they need to win by that though. Seriously. But no, that's all I got, Michael. I guess what's next?
Lady Vols basketball. But yeah, go ahead and give us our segment 2 sponsor.
You got it, man. It's P&L Business Services. By the way, shout out P&L Business Services in the Anderson County, which is exactly where they reside. They just won, I believe, Woman-Owned Business of the Year for Anderson County. So shout out to them. Huge accomplishment. They won, I think, Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year 2 years ago in Oak Ridge. Like, I'm telling you, this company gets it. Now, I'll get on to the read. And that's, we know firsthand that your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Again, guys, PNLBusinessServices.com is where to go for that. If you're a young entrepreneur, and I mean that as in, like, if you're new to business, it doesn't matter if you're 60 years old. If you just started a business, but you're young, you're fresh into it, and don't really want to hassle with all the paperwork behind the scenes, just go to PNLBusinessServices.com and let the fine folks there in that Oak Ridge office take care of everything you need. So then again, and I'm going to reiterate it, you just focus on the task at hand. Stay up to date on that customer service. The reason why you're so busy, right? But it is tax season. They are going crazy right now. So maybe now isn't the greatest time to try to establish a relationship, but I'm telling you right now, they will not hesitate to give you guys help. We appreciate you and your continued support of our channel.
Lady Vols basketball. You did get a win. We'll start on a positive note. You did get a win last Thursday night, going down to Athens to play against Georgia. But let me just tell you, that was an ugly game. That was not a very good game compared to what we've seen Tennessee play at times. You did get a fantastic game from two players in particular, in Z Spearman and Mia Paldo, who, by the way, took over in the overtime period. But it really never should have gone to overtime. I mean, it was back and forth the entire game. I mean, Tennessee led for 28 minutes of the game, Georgia for 11. There was 5 minutes of the ball game that the game was tied. Tennessee led the majority of this game, but it never extended out past 7 points for Tennessee. Tennessee's largest lead was at 7 with 4:40 left to go in the third. Georgia led by 8 with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. So it was a very tightly contested ball game the entire time. Good job, Danny Dimes. Give all the money to women's basketball team just for them to lose. Tennessee Football 247, I get your frustrations. We'll get into that once we're done previewing or recapping this game and the South Carolina game, because there's some thoughts. I know both of us have some. We're going to talk through it, but let's talk about this win first. So,
hey, let's just keep raising them ticket prices.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, ultimately, Tennessee, big win on the road. You're not going to complain about a win, especially a conference game like this. But this game left a lot to be desired, as really it was just 4 players that did the scoring. As I mentioned, Z Spearman with 23, Mia Paldo 21, and Talasia Cooper with 16. Janiah Barker did have a big night with 9 points and 13 rebounds. But outside of that, Jada Silva with 4, Lauren Hurst with 3, and Nia Robertson with 3, Alyssa Latham with 3. And that was pretty much all the scoring for Tennessee. Georgia got a big night from Carnegie, had 2 more players in double figures as well. Neither team really shot the ball well. Tennessee, they shot pretty well from the field, not so well from 3. Tennessee 42%, Georgia 40% from the field. Free throws, 73% for Tennessee compared to 84% for Georgia, which, by the way, a big shout out to Carnegie for Georgia for knocking down those 3 free throws with 3 seconds left to go on the game clock.
For being honest,
and I'll be honest, I did not see the foul. I did not see the fourth quarter of this game.
She shot, and we obviously jumped to block, but we didn't lunge toward the shooter. We literally jumped across the shooter. I don't understand the rules of basketball. I don't see how that's a foul. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Does not make sense to me. I understand when you, and I know this back from high school, when somebody shoots a 3, you do not try to block the shot jumping straight at them. Never,
Correct.
ever. And so, to me, seeing that play happen and she jumped completely, if you're facing the player, I mean, left to right, it wasn't moving any closer to the player whatsoever, and somehow that's a foul. Do not get it whatsoever. I don't know. It bothers me. But I just, whatever. It is what it is. I ain't going to sit here and complain about the refs because, I mean, honestly, it shouldn't even been that close. So
Yeah, I'll try to pull up the video on my end because, like I said, I did not see the foul. All I saw was the fact that Denia Prawl
yeah,
fouled the 3-point shooter, Danny Carnegie. She went up there and with Georgia down by 3,
she
knocked
nailed all
down
3 of
3
them.
free throws.
I knew she would
in
too, as soon as she
clutch
got there.
time to send the game to overtime. But the overtime period, it was completely taken over by Mia Paldo and by Z Spearman, who they went 10 of 10 from the foul line. A shout out to them in the overtime period. 10 of 10 from the foul line. I believe Spearman had a layup, and Spearman had both of the field goals in the overtime period. So scored all 14 points for
Spearman grew up in that game, I think.
she
now,
did.
obviously, things happened in the other game, but I mean, in this game, I mean, I really felt like you've seen the Spearman that I've been wanting to see since the beginning of the year that I've just not gotten to see. I mean, Spearman's supposed to be one of your leaders in this team, not play like it, but she did in this game, and her players spoke so highly of her after the game, and I'm like, maybe this is her moment. Maybe this is what's going to turn the tide for her a little bit. I hate to use that term, but really, like, just a shift in momentum that she needed to become that star player that this team needs her to be. I don't know. It's kind of hard to measure against this next game that we're going to talk about, but hopefully they get right because they ain't got really time for anything else. So,
yeah, I mean, the Georgia game, it was a good win for Tennessee, but something that left a lot to be desired. But then you go over to the Sunday game, and it was, other than the UConn game, it was expected to be the biggest game of the year. It's always big whenever Tennessee and South Carolina go against each other, and most of the time it's a close effort that, yeah, South Carolina ends up pulling out. And it looked that way for a good chunk of the first half. Towards the end of the first half, South Carolina started to pull away a little bit, but I did not expect the give up that the Lady Vols had in this game. And that's exactly what it was. It was a give up. I mean, you took 64 total shots in the game, and 44 of those were from the 3-point line. You stopped trying to get to the basket. And I don't know if they ever really started trying to get to the basket in this game. And that's where, even though some fans they're put off by Kim Caldwell's comments, because in the post-game press conference, Kim Caldwell said, I've got a team when things go hard, they quit. They give up. And that's where I'll agree with her. This team, you can see it on their faces. You can see it in their actions on the court. When things aren't going their way, they really they don't care anymore. And they're just out there waiting for everything to end. That's exactly what this team looked like. And no amount of coaching in the moment can fix that. And really, there's not a lot of coaching that can fix the mindset. Would you agree with me on that?
No, not at all. I don't think they practice hard enough.
I won't disagree with you on that. I think that they need to practice harder.
Yeah.
And you could say that about many teams. You could say that about the men's team too.
100%. But I mean, a team that gives up like this means they're not worried about being disciplined the next week or the next practice, the next whatever. Like, they clearly got smacked in the mouth and didn't even care to respond. And this bothers me because, one, it was an embarrassment on national television right before the Super Bowl, right? This was almost like, to me, I kind of treated it, because we did have a Super Bowl party. It was my wife's birthday too. Like, we kind of celebrated it all together. But to me, I treated this like the pregame, right? We watched this to kind of get ready for the Super Bowl, and we couldn't even watch it, man. I mean, this was terrible. We turned it off. I don't think we turned it off, but I was joking the second half about everything. Like,
I did turn this game off. I turned it off for fourth quarter. And
I think we actually left it on just because there was absolutely nothing else to watch. But it was like, I would look up and be like, oh, we're still at 47 points. Oh, we're still at 47. And I think I said that for like 30 minutes straight. Just terrible. I genuinely think that this team is good when they're playing good. Problem is it's basketball, and much like basketball, much like baseball, doesn't necessarily matter how big, strong, or talented you are. Matters, I mean, that does help, don't get me wrong, but also matters about your mindset and, let's face it, just how hot you are, right? Like, how are you feeling? Is that rim feeling like the size of a beach ball, or is it feeling like the size of a softball? And when you ain't got the right mindset, paired with everything you just seen in this game, man, it was very much. I've never seen this. Nobody actually has never seen this team lose that bad. Historic night in all the wrong ways for this basketball team, and I think it all. I mean, your best scorer, and maybe this is part of it, but it's no secret that Mia Paldo is your best scorer. She goes 0 of 10 for 0 points.
Yeah, 0 points in the contest, 0 of 10. It wasn't just her, though, in this contest. I mean...
And I'm not saying it's like her fault for going over 10. I mean, you got to give South Carolina credit. I'm just saying that when you're... I mean, if Nate Ament went 0 of 10 in a game, I almost guarantee you see almost the exact same outcome as far as like how disappointing of a loss it would be. I mean, you just can't have that. Can't.
Here's what I will say, though. I will give credit to one player here in particular for the shot selection. Janiah Barker with 10 points on the night. She was 4 of 13 shooting, not very good. 0 of 3 from the three-point line. So 3 of her 13 shots were taken from the three-point line. Everybody else on the team, Z Spearman, 2 of her 4. So 50% of her shots came from the three-point line. Mia Paldo, 9 of her 10 came from the three-point line. Alyssa Latham, she only took 1 shot and she made it, and that was a 2-pointer. Talasia Cooper, 13 of her 17 came from the three-point line. Nia Robertson, all 9 of her shots came from the three-point line. Kanaya Boyd didn't attempt a shot. Lauren Hurst, all 3 of hers came from the three-point line. Maya Paldo, her 1 shot from the three-point line. Jada Civil, 2 of her 3 from the three-point line. And Denia Prawl, 2 of her 3 from the three-point line. The shot selection is terrible.
They didn't even try to beat the zone.
No, that was the thing. The zone is what threw them off, and it's like they had never seen a zone in their life, and we're just going to throw it up from the middle of the ocean, and hopefully we hit land somewhere, and they could not.
3-point attempts is actually stupid when you only hit 10 of them.
But you want to know a number that's even crazier than that? 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Compared to South Carolina, 16 of 20. They didn't even try to get any contact. They just said, well, we'll shoot from out here. We're not going to try to get to the rim, hopefully get fouled, and try to keep ourselves in the game that way. No, no physicality there. And there's a lot that we can blame. You know, obviously, I get what Kim Caldwell is trying to do in the post-game press conferences, because she's done it a couple times this year where she's called out her team. Rightfully so, if you're doing it the right way. You know, we've seen Rick Barnes. They have good efforts on the court. Sometimes they fall short, and there might be 1 or 2 things that they need to work on, and he'll call that out in the post-game press conference. And when you are as disciplined as Rick Barnes is, then that works. Because the team's going to go out and they're going to work hard to fix that. And this is where I tend to agree with you some, Skylar. I don't know if that discipline is there fully with Kim Caldwell, where she can make these comments and they can go work on it in practice to improve upon that. But I also don't think it's all her fault, because I also agree with something else that she said. This team, I don't see leadership on the court. There is not one single player out there that is stepping up to be a leader.
But that's where she's got to pull.
Well.
But that's where she has to pull somebody aside in the midweek and say, "Hey, I need you to step up and be a leader on this team." And that should have been done.
I do know that she has done that. She has.
Well, she ain't picked the right people then. So I mean, a leader doesn't have to be your best player. So I mean, she needs to pull Laura Hurst or Kanaya Boyd, who's obviously not played a lick, but obviously was a big player last year. I was so excited about her last year. She's got to pick somebody that's got some level of respect. And I think a respect is an issue on this team. I don't know if these players actually respect a lot of one another or the coaching staff.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because have you seen the video of Alyssa Latham and Ruby Whitehorn, not Ruby Whitehorn, Talaysia Cooper, kind of getting into it in one of the huddles before Kim Caldwell joined?
Don't doubt it whatsoever. I mean, no, I did not see that video. And I'm not seeing the videos of Kim Caldwell in the post presser, but I mean, has she once admitted or took blame for any of this? Because I do feel like that she is calling out her team and not calling out herself at all. And I don't know that.
That is one issue. I haven't seen her directly say, you know, this loss is on me type of deal. Like you've seen with the good coaches, with Rick Barnes, like you see with.
Because at the end of the day, if your team's
like
not ready or if your team's not performing to what, that falls on the coach. That falls on the coach.
So I feel like there is growth that needs to be had all the way around, from the coaches to the players. I mean, all the way, and they need to grow up fast, because they've got a schedule that is very daunting that could get ugly in a hurry.
They may not win another game, dude. Like it's bad.
No, they'll win Thursday night. 100% they'll win Thursday night.
100% they'll win Thursday. I don't think you've seen the way they played the last 4 games, brother.
I don't think you've
seen
lost
Missouri
coached by a former head coach.
Fashion.
I don't think you have seen Missouri coached by former Tennessee head coach Kelly Harper.
Don't care. You lost to Mississippi State in blowout fashion, basically.
Missouri also lost to a Division III school in the preseason,
and currently
on their home court.
And currently, even with Mississippi State's win over Tennessee, Missouri still has a better record in the SEC. I'm just saying, they are not playing good basketball right now. You lost to 14 points Mississippi State, who's 5 from the bottom of the SEC, and I'm not even counting Arkansas. They're god-awful at 0-10. You lose by 30 against UConn, and honestly, chalk it up. Not that I don't care about that game, but I knew you probably weren't going to win it, especially after winning last year. You beat Georgia, and we all agreed that game was god-awful too. Shouldn't ever win in overtime. But luckily, you still came through because Georgia freaking no-showed in overtime. And Z Spearman made some plays. I'm going to give her credit there. But then South Carolina, you lose by 43, and honestly, you got some garbage time points. I hate to say that in basketball, but I think you sank like 2 threes or something like that at the end of the game. Whatever. The team's not playing good ball. You can't go into Missouri thinking that you're winning this game 100%. I mean, as a fan, you can, but this team better not, because they're playing terrible, and they better fix it fast. And this live and die by the 3 bull crap's stupid. Okay, yeah. You shoot threes, yes, and you shouldn't be scared to shoot threes. No, you shouldn't. But at the end of the day, if you've shot 15 threes in the first half and you've only hit 2 or 3 of them, you probably need to change your offensive philosophy in some way and adapt to it.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's not even their defense being good. It's just you're not good at shooting the ball. Figure it out. Do something different.
And with that, I'm not 100% certain who's at fault there. Is it Coach Caldwell living and dying by this philosophy, or is it them drawing up a different game plan in the middle of the game, trying to make those adjustments, and the team just not following it? Because granted, I don't know how each fan is going to take Kim Caldwell's comments a different way, but I do know she also stated in her post game that they tried making adjustments and either they were ignored or whatever the case may be.
That can't happen. That's a coaching issue. I don't know.
There's issues all the way around.
Not here to point the finger at one person. It's all a problem right now.
Here's what I will say moving forward. I do think Kim Caldwell is a good coach, because I feel like that she has improved Tennessee from where it was at under Kelly Harper, and I would venture to say Holly Warlick too. I just feel Holly Warlick was a good coach. I just feel like she wasn't given enough time because it was right after Pat Summitt, and whoever, just like with Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, whoever come after Nick Saban, just like whoever come after Pat Summitt, they weren't going to be there long because the success wasn't going to be the same. So I don't think Holly Warlick was given the right amount of time. but I think that the program is better under Coach Caldwell than under Kelly Harper. But things have got to change. Player mindset, coach mindset, everything it's got to change, and it's got to change in a hurry.
The only thing that gives me hope that this team will figure it out is they're not a bad team. Again, they just have really bad performances.
And they're
I'm
a
telling
very
you,
young
when
team,
they
too.
play really well, that I don't think that there's not a team that they can't go toe to toe with. And to prove my
100%.
point on that, and I know it's not a full game sample size, but UConn's best team in the nation, and you went toe to toe with them in the first half. I mean, it's not 30 minutes, but is it 20 minutes basketball? Is it 10-minute quarters? 20 minutes of basketball. 20 minutes of basketball, and you're toe to toe with the best team in the nation. When this team plays well, they can play with anybody. It's just we've got to figure out how to not do what we've done the last couple weeks. So I don't know, man. It's tough. I think Caldwell's going to be here. I actually disagree with this comment. I think Caldwell's done a great job recruiting. The team is very young this year. You've had some very unfortunate circumstances in the offseason that's maybe impacted the goals for this team. I don't know, but like Rhonda kind of brought it up, losing Ruby may have been a bigger impact than what I would have thought. And honestly, I don't even think it's a bigger impact than what I thought, because I knew that was a big impact. Like when the news first dropped, I was kind of like, "Ooh," like Ruby Whitehorn was the one dynamic player that kind of could do it all for you. Kind of like Talasia Cooper, but I even felt like Ruby Whitehorn was a better shooter than Talasia Cooper, and a better athlete. But overall, can't mess around out, outside of the game, and obviously things were that she wouldn't get better. She wouldn't better herself off the court, thus not going to be on the court. And I don't blame Kim for that. I love that she's trying to set standards. But now that the season's here, she needs to stick to those standards. And I'm afraid that we're getting a little light or loose on the standards for this team. And it also has been a tough stretch. I mean, this by far is one of the hardest weeks, 2 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks of basketball a team's ever going to have. I mean, I think the commentator said since Alabama, maybe. What week was that Alabama game?
That was like week.
It's the We Backpack game.
That was week 3.
It was week 3. The Alabama game was their fifth game of the SEC.
Yeah, so that would have been week 3 of
week 3 of conference play. I wish it gave me a daggum date. But either way, since week 3 of SEC play, Tennessee will have had played a ranked opponent on Sunday every week for the rest of the season. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty. You Alabama, Ole Miss, UConn, South Carolina, Texas. Excuse me, they play Texas A&M coming up, and they are not ranked. But then it's they end the season with number 6 LSU, I think, on the Sunday, and then Vanderbilt, number 5. Your final 3 games are 10, 6, and 5 currently. It doesn't get easier, so they're gonna have to lock in. Let's see here, 13 Doveman. We appreciate you being tuned in, man. We appreciate the comments. Thank you for being here. Just don't understand how Boyd averaged 18 minutes with guards like Spencer and Spear, but can't get 7 minutes with Maya and Nia Robertson. Look, she's just not been playing good this year. Even when she's on the court, she's just not making plays. Like, I can't really defend her because I don't know. I mean, but even when she's in the game, I'm just kind of like, that's not the same person. Like, I don't understand what's going on, how it happened. I don't know if she just got rattled from this offseason when the freshman came in and she realized that she couldn't hang. I don't know, but clearly her head's not in the right mindset of getting better. It's more of a I don't even know. I'm not in her shoes. I'm not in there. I'm not in the building. I don't know why. Maybe there's an injury we don't know about. I'm not sure. Michael, you got any thoughts on that? Because I was so excited with how Boyd played last year as a freshman going into this year.
Something's going on there, and I don't know if it's Kim Caldwell playing favorites. I don't know if it's like you said, if there's an injury that we don't know about, what the case may be. But you're right. She's not playing like she did last year for whatever reason that may be. So I don't blame her for not getting the minutes or I don't blame Coach Caldwell for not giving her the minutes that maybe we all thought going into the season she should have gotten. There's just something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that is keeping her from seeing that time on the court that she needs to, or that we feel like that she should. But I feel like there's also other players that have played fairly well that should see more time. I feel like there's players that need to see a little bit less time on the court as well. I mean, it's like I said, there's going to have to be some growing up that needs to happen, and it needs to happen really in this Missouri game before you get to Sunday's game against Texas. But otherwise, it's going to be ugly.
With that being said, you're only 2 games back from first place in the SEC, and we've got 3 weeks left to go. 1, 2, 3, 3.5 weeks left to go in the season, and go get it. I think it's an absolute success if they can rattle off some wins, and finish top 4 in the SEC. I think that's my opinion, especially when you've got South Carolina and Texas playing the way they are. If you can finish top 4 in the SEC, in my opinion, that's exactly where you want to be. That gets you the double bye in the SEC tournament. And most likely, if you finish in the top 4 in the SEC, you will be a top 3 seed in the tournament. I think that's okay. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, just look at the rest of the schedule. It's totally different from.
I don't want to look at the rest of the schedule.
It's totally different from what the men's schedule is.
I don't want to look at it.
I see.
It's so bad.
I see one guaranteed win, and that's the Missouri game. Texas A&M should be a win because you get that one at home.
That should. I mean, if we're gonna say guaranteed win, Texas A&M 9-10 on the year, 2-8 in SEC. That's got to be okay.
It should be. I mean that. So that makes 2, and then you need to steal one of.
You're gonna have to upset. You're gonna have to upset them. Like you're gonna be underdogs in 5 of the next 7 games.
I feel like so. I think the Texas game is probably going to be a loss this Sunday, but you do get that one at home. I feel like you can go to Ole Miss and you can win, but it's going to be tough. I feel like you can go to Oklahoma and you can win, but it's going to be tough. I think you lose the last 2 games to LSU and Vanderbilt. LSU and Vanderbilt are very good. I think there's 3 guaranteed losses, and that's Texas, LSU, and Vanderbilt. You got 2 toss-ups in Ole Miss and Oklahoma, and then you got 2 wins in Missouri and Texas.
Here's the good news. If you can beat Ole Miss straight up, though, even with those 3-4 losses that you endure, there is a gap in the SEC between Ole Miss and Alabama, as Alabama is already 6-5. Ole Miss is 6-3. Now, obviously, a little bit less games played for Ole Miss, but what I'm saying though is if you can at least beat Ole Miss, you can kind of keep that tiebreaker there and stay above. I mean, essentially, we're just fighting for a top 6, which top 6 really doesn't matter other than it just looks better. But I don't know. There is a gap there. Tennessee's got to take care of business, of course, but it's going to be. They're going to have to get an upset, and then I'm going to get on here and scream that we're the best team in the nation and that we're about to rattle off we're about to go to a Final Four. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to have to happen because, again, just like the men's, if they don't put something together in this final 7-game stretch here, it could get a little ugly for Kim Caldwell. It could. I don't want it to.
I'll say it again. This is a team that could very easily make a run to the Final Four, and they could very easily lose the first game in the tournament.
Absolutely, without a doubt. But let's move on. We spent a lot of time on that topic, man. Let's move on. Let's head to segment 3 and talk a little bit about the football SEC picks recap, I guess, and how bad that's also going.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll move into that, and I'll give you our segment 3 sponsor, and it is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. Skylar, do you want a bit of good news as far as these SEC teams go before we get started?
Yes.
One of these teams, one of us hit the nail on the head as far as their schedule.
Well, if you're saying it's good news, and it's probably not good news for me, but I'm proud of you.
No, two of the teams we were actually very close on, but the other one we were way off. So first one, LSU, and this is the one that I'm going to throw myself a bone. I got the nail, or I hit the nail on the head with this one, at least as far as the actual record goes. As I predicted 7-5 this year for LSU, and that's exactly what they went, was 7-5.
Attaboy.
And Skylar, you're only one game off.
Yeah, I went 8-4 with it.
8-4.
I still wasn't a believer. Yeah, I don't know where I went wrong. Maybe the A&M. I had them beating A&M, and I bet you that's the one. That's the other game they lost. I don't know.
See, I'm about to pull up their
yeah, they even beat Clemson
schedule
to start the year, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And then
shout out to you, by the way. You picked LSU to win that one. I did not. I picked them to lose that one. But
no, I had them beating Clemson. I had them losing to Ole Miss. I had them losing to Vanderbilt. I had them losing to Alabama, and Oklahoma to end the year, which I might have actually picked all my losses correctly. I just had the Texas A&M game wrong, I think.
You probably had Vanderbilt beating LSU. And
I did. Did that not?
Oh, you
happen?
did. Let's see.
No, I had an L at Vanderbilt.
we had LSU. Oh, you did have an L against Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I had my 4 losses again were Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Alabama, and Oklahoma. I had them beating A&M as my upset, I guess, if I had to pick an upset on the year.
So it was literally just that A&M one.
Yep. So I was really close to a perfect record, much less literally a perfect schedule prediction. Just the A&M game threw a wrench in that. That's okay. I'm okay with that. That's fine.
See, my losses were different. I had them losing to Clemson, to Florida, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Alabama. So I had...
That's crazy. You got a perfect record, and you were like so far wrong on the teams that you picked.
Yeah, because I had them beating Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma.
No, that's wild. That's crazy. Meanwhile, I literally only missed one game, and yet you get the. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad at all, dude. Good job. That's awesome. But thoughts on LSU? I mean, it's hard to have thoughts on LSU because they've changed absolutely everything top to bottom. So what they did last year is not going to carry whatsoever to this next year. But with that being said, are you surprised at all with what LSU did this year?
No, not at all. I mean, we all knew that Brian Kelly was going to get fired.
Wouldn't
and I do want to throw myself one other bone. My bold prediction for LSU this year was 100% correct.
You're running out of bones, brother. I don't know. I mean,
that's really my last. That's really my last one for tonight. I didn't do well the rest of it, but no, I nailed my bold prediction for LSU. I said Brian Kelly would get fired before the end of the season, and Garrett Nussmeier would not be the starting quarterback at the end of the year. And he was benched.
Was that really bold? I don't think that's a bold prediction.
The Brian Kelly one was not bold. But I felt like the Garrett Nussmeier one was a little bit more bold because I don't think anybody saw him getting benched because he was this projected Heisman front runner.
He was that
at the beginning of the season. And I guess
the reason why I say is that really bold is because that's one of those parlays that's almost like if one happens, the other one's gotta happen type deal. Almost.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Almost. But to your credit, you did nail that one before the season even started, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, what a season. I'm not surprised whatsoever. I knew Brian Kelly was getting fired. It was only a matter of time. Dude, I mean, we say this term a lot, but in my opinion, I don't know if I really believe in it because at the end of the day, coaches are coaches, and if they get paid to coach, they're going to make it work if they want it to work. But Brian Kelly just never looked like he fit down there. It don't look like he really.
He tried his hardest with that fake accent and all that stuff.
But I think that's even more of the reason why I felt like he didn't fit. It's almost like because he was having to try so hard instead of just being him. Yeah, I think people would have enjoyed his tenure there even if he's not Cajun. People knew he wasn't from there when he joined, right? Like he doesn't even have to act like he was from there. But that's something that he won't get back. I mean, he's getting paid handsomely to retire early, I guess. I don't know, but overall, man, it was not a shocker to me at all. But what's the next thing? Because I'm tired of talking. I hate that you got the perfect prediction on that one. I literally only missed one game. That bothers me.
Next team that we're going to talk about is Missouri. And we were close on this one. I had 7-5 for Missouri, who went 8-4.
I wasn't
And
close.
Skylar, you had 6-6. That was close. Only 2 games off.
I had them losing to South Carolina, Alabama, Vanderbilt, A&M, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Now, I know for a fact they beat Arkansas because Arkansas went over.
We both had them beating Arkansas.
And then I guess my
Arkansas.
only other one would have been maybe they beat South Carolina. Maybe.
See, I know they beat South Carolina, and let me get their schedule.
Yep.
pulled
So then that was my
up.
only 2 that I was wrong on. I had them losing to both South Carolina and Arkansas, and they beat both South Carolina and Arkansas. So there we go.
Let's see.
Well, it's nice to know that my wins and losses were daggum spot on. Like, I mean, I'm not doing bad.
2025.
Record don't show it. It's fine. It's whatever.
Oh, shoot. I pulled up South Carolina. But
we're live, guys, by the way. It's terrible for radio, but he's trying to look up their schedule. Their
I pulled up the wrong team. But, Missouri 2025. So rattled off 5 straight wins to start the season. So that included that South Carolina game that both of us thought would be losses. They lost to Alabama. Both predicted that one correctly. I had them losing to Auburn, and you said you had them beating Auburn.
I did. I had them beating Auburn.
Credit to you on that one. I had them beating Vanderbilt, and they lost to Vanderbilt. I had them losing to Texas A&M.
Yep.
And I had them beating Oklahoma, but losing to Arkansas, and those 2 were flopped.
Yeah, I had them losing to both. So yeah, man, I really just only missed the South Carolina and Arkansas pick. That's fine. It's fine, dude. That's all right. Yeah. Missouri though,
did we not
a down year? Well, I mean 8-4, but with that schedule, I feel like that was a down year. I mean, you look at A&M, Vanderbilt, Alabama. Sure, they were 3 really good. And Oklahoma, I guess. I don't know. How do you grade this? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they went 8-4, right?
Really, they lost the games that they should have lost by the time the games came up there.
Obviously, preseason we would have never said that because we wouldn't have thought Vanderbilt would have went 10-2. I didn't really think Oklahoma was a playoff ready team either. So like that's 2 teams that I kind of didn't really think were going to be there. A&M and Alabama essentially were the 2 games. I'm like, these 2 games are probably going to be their hardest games. But overall, I mean, 8-4, and like you said, they kind of lost to the teams that they should have lost to, I guess. So, what's your grade on?
I mean, I feel like we cannot obviously grade Missouri in A because of how things ended up. But
No.
I think whenever you look also at the injuries that they had, because
they were on their 3rd string quarterback.
They were very, very close to being 10-2, possibly even 11-1. That A&M game, that was a game that A&M dominated from start to finish. But the Alabama game, they had every chance in the world to win that game.
Yeah,
Bo Pribula
played great.
It did. Bo Pribula threw 2 interceptions in the final 6 minutes of the game, I believe it was, that sealed the deal for Alabama in that game.
He fit like a square peg. Sorry, Rhonda, I'm so sorry I didn't get to this comment sooner, but I just now seen that when I was talking about
Brian Kelly
and LSU, he fit like a square peg. That's a good one. That's a good one. Did you know that you could put all the shapes in the square, by the way, growing up?
I mean, I didn't really test that out.
Yeah, the triangle, the circle, all of it fit in the square peg.
Did you try to put it in the circle peg?
No, because the square won't fit in the circle peg. The triangle wouldn't either.
Just making sure she knew that. So.
Well, I mean, shut up.
But no.
On this
Missouri.
episode all right. You should know that you got the kid, bro.
My son will be finding this out soon.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Just tell him that Uncle Tarp done spoiled it for him. It's fine.
Yeah. I'll make sure to show him this episode.
Yeah, so, definitely.
So Alabama.
Miss Rachel.
Yeah. We don't watch that show. So.
Not mad.
But no, Alabama, they had every chance to win that game. Vanderbilt, really, they had the chance to win that one, but of course, Bo Pribula got hurt towards the end of that game. They had to go with, as you said, their 3rd string quarterback, Zollers at that point, finish things off, and he played fairly well, just could not pull it out for them. who was the transfer quarterback? Zach Calzada. That's who they started off with that got hurt in that game against Central Arkansas when Bo Pribula took over at the start of the season. Zollers ended up playing against Texas A&M, against Mississippi State. Pribula actually came back in that Oklahoma game really prematurely for that injury and played decent, but at that point it wasn't in the cards for Missouri to win.
Hay was in the
But
barn.
I mean, I feel like Missouri for this, the way the schedule ended up playing out, I feel like it was a B overall for them on the season. They played well. They won the games that they should have. Just could not pull out an upset in any of the games that they needed to
be honest with you, if Tennessee and Missouri schedule were pasted side by side and I didn't know the logos that were on, I mean, they were the exact same. So, I mean, I can't really be hypocritical and say one was better than the other. Essentially, I'm going to go with B- just because I do feel like 8-4 for a team that was trying to be in the playoff last year, and then you can't upset. I don't know. You can't go 9-3. To me, 9-3, 8-4, man. And I know that's hard to comprehend because 8-4 was so good for us in 2016, 15, whatever. But like to me, you're really not on the cusp of late season, postseason aspirations unless you can at least go 9-3 or better. As far as like to be in November playing for it all type of, and so to go 8-4, I'm gonna go B- there, and but it was good enough for Eli Drinks to build on and maybe go make a run this year. I hope not, but we'll see. What's
there's actually a list out there that has Eli Drinkwitz on the hottest seat out of any team in the SEC this year, and I think that is dead wrong.
That's dumb. Yeah, that's dead wrong. I don't agree with that one bit. I mean, the dude beat Ohio State 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. Granted, it was in a bowl game that Ohio State didn't really care about, but
it was still a New Year's 6. I don't care.
That's right.
Like that's a great win for him.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Might have been only Cody Schrader, but that's fine.
Yeah. I think they scored a combined 13 points in that game, something like that.
Might have. But who's the last team that we got to talk about?
Last team, and this one wasn't a good one. It was Vanderbilt. And I did not buy into the Pavia magic at the beginning of the season. Didn't feel like I needed to. And I should have.
Yeah, you had them going worse than I did, didn't you?
I had Vanderbilt going 5-7 this season, and all they did was go 10-2.
Well,
granted, when you look at
when your own team doesn't get the job done, that's immediately one game right there. So you gotta.
Yeah, I mean when you look at the schedule though, so I had them winning the first 2 games. I had them losing to South Carolina.
Same.
I thought South Carolina was going to be a much better team than they ended up being.
Well, Lenore Sellers kind of, again, a South Carolina team that just went 9-3 with a brand new quarterback. You kind of thought they were on the up and up, and quite the opposite, really.
Yeah. So we both had the first 5 games the same as we had them starting off 4-1.
Yep.
I had them losing to Alabama, which did happen.
Same.
In a close game. I then had them dropping 4 more straight games to LSU, Missouri, Texas, and Auburn.
Whew. I did not have that, but it was very close. I had them beating Missouri. That's the only difference I had.
Yeah. I had them beating Kentucky and losing to Tennessee.
I had them beating Kentucky and losing to Tennessee. So, I mean, we were essentially only different in the Missouri game. It's kind of wild that Vanderbilt lost to Alabama and then turned around and beat LSU, beat Missouri.
Nearly beat Texas.
They lost to Texas, but then beat Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee.
I also was higher on Auburn than I should have this season.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to put it out there. Just like I already said, I was very, very low on Vanderbilt. I did not think they could repeat the success they had the season prior. And I was wrong on that. Vanderbilt had a very good season this year.
I think your take on Vanderbilt was just a year early. I think going into next year, they could be back to mid, if not worse.
Yes. Yeah, I think
I'm very intrigued to see. Now, they do have a 5-star quarterback coming in, and he's probably good enough, especially with the lack of talent in Vanderbilt's quarterback room behind Diego Pavia. Very likely he starts right away. However, man, Vanderbilt was an older team. So I'm very
They were
interested to see.
the oldest team in the SEC.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see how they turn around and play this next upcoming season. Rhonda, real quick, says, what do y'all think about the comments that if Joey wins, it'll open the floodgates? Didn't Pavia already do that? Wrong. Pavia, there is absolutely no difference in what Joey is doing right now than what Pavia has already done, actually. So the reason why everybody wants to blow smoke on can we talk about this for like 5 seconds? We haven't really talked about this. And the reason why I have been so confident in Joey getting another year is solely because, yes, Joey has technically played like 6 football seasons. He had a red shirt year right before the COVID year. So that's 2 years of football that he played, and he actually never played. Then the 21 season and the 22 season, he was at JUCO. Essentially, JUCO does not count against your eligibility in the NCAA, as it really shouldn't, to be honest with you. Especially in the NIL realm, you have it's a completely different world. So that's 4 seasons that Joey's played, and not single one of them being the Division I, much less the NCAA. And then he transfers to Appalachian State, plays 2 years there, and then obviously he transfers to Tennessee, plays 1 year there. The man has only played 3 seasons of Division I NCAA football. That is the reason why I have been so hopeful and kind of positive that he would get that 4th year. Essentially, the exact same thing Diego Pavia has done. Now, Joey is older than Diego Pavia, no doubt about it. But again, Joey, what set him back, what the reason why he's 2 years older, I guess you could say, is he redshirted before that COVID year. So 2 years of his college eligibility, he never even played. And that to me just shouldn't eat up his eligibility. So Rhonda says, exactly. I just don't get why they're making it a bigger deal about Joey. Well,
because it looks bad with those 2 years in 19 and 20 that he was at a college but did not play.
That's what I'm saying. You have a guy.
That's what everyone's making a big deal about.
Everybody's looking at start to end, right? So they're looking and they're like, dude, this guy was in college in 2019, and you're telling me he could be playing, essentially, if he made the postseason, he would be playing football from 2019 to 2027. And I get it. That's not college. But you can't blame Joey for a pandemic. And then you can't blame Joey that the rules changed while he was in college to allow NIL earnings. And JUCO, they've already deemed JUCO does not count against your eligibility. So that's not his fault. And if I'm Joey, and this is any player, right? And don't even bring up Bediako, because that dude was actually a pro. That does not make any sense whatsoever on how he even got. But if I'm Joey, and I hate to say this and it almost sound disrespectful, but I really don't mean it this way. But I think everybody knows that man's not going to make the type of money he's going to make in the NFL that he can make as a starter at Tennessee. So by God, you throw everything at the wall to see if you can't get another year for Tennessee. And I do not blame him for that. And honestly, Tennessee could probably use him to come back another year. If anything, to get GMAC just that much more experience, to let Fajon Brandon learn under him, have that almost like father-like figure in the quarterback room that will be so helpful in their growth and their development. And if a player is truly trying to get better and make it to the NFL, they're not going to care that they didn't start this next year and that their development got delayed a year, because their development won't get delayed a year. In fact, it's probably going to progress that much better because they're getting to learn behind somebody before they just get thrown to the wolves. So essentially, that's why I've been so high on Joey getting another year. I think he will get another year. I'm pretty sure that decision has not been made yet, but that is the distinct difference between the two. And people are going to hate because people are going to hate. And then obviously it's a Tennessee thing too. So if this was happening at any other school, whoop-de-doo. But I mean, in saying that, people hated on Diego Pavia for doing it. I hated on Diego Pavia for doing it. I'm like, dude, what the heck are we doing? Like, this is your 5th year, like whatever. But at the end of the day, I understand that, you can't be mad at a player for getting that money in the NIL days and then turn around and blame Joey for doing what he's doing. Because at the end of the day, he's just trying to do the same thing. And I want to see him for another year, man. It would be nice to have another quarterback, to have a quarterback for 2 years in a row. Haven't had that. Hendon Hooker, I'll give him credit, but he never even finished a single season as a starter. The first year he was 2 games late to becoming the starter because he had to win it over, and then the second year we all know what happened, and didn't get to finish the season. So yeah, I'm all about it, and I'm positive of the outcome, and I'm awaiting the news on that. Michael?
Yeah, I'm still not quite as confident as you, but I'm feeling better about it.
It's about time.
After the steps that have been taken so far. I agree with pretty much everything that you said there, as far as, that Joey deserves that other year, that he's going to make more money in college than he will in the pros, because he's not going to be a long-term, even a backup quarterback in the NFL. He's going to be a practice squad player at best. I mean, basically this is it for him. And I feel like that it's kind of the same for Pavia, but he's already got that last year, so he's not.
Pavia would have another year, but he's already came out and said he's not taking it. So, but I think the biggest thing with Joey is what's everybody's comeback on against Joey. It's his age.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, college football doesn't have an age restriction.
It doesn't. But ultimately, this is what's going to have to happen. We're going to have to go to you have 5 years to play 5 seasons.
Yep.
And if you redshirt for any such reason, whether it be a medical year, whether it be just because you're not getting enough playing time, whatever the case may be, if you redshirt, that goes against one of your 5 seasons right there. So if you redshirt, then you're going to be able to play 4 seasons in those 5 years. That's what it's going to have to go to. And I mean, unfortunately, if you're one of those players that you're hurt each and every year, you're not going to get any more seasons because you've got those 5 years to do it.
All right, we're going to change the subject a little bit. I just showed up on the screen if you're watching. Rhonda says, what's going to happen with the games that the Alabama player played in since he's ineligible now? Now, what's funny about this?
Nothing because of the TRO.
Well, you're just you must be fun at parties. I was going to say, does this actually help Alabama? Because now they have to forfeit the loss to Tennessee.
But they already lost it to them.
But they are. Well, that's what I was saying is they'd have to forfeit the loss. So technically, they didn't lose to Tennessee. Does that make sense? You didn't catch that, I don't think. But no, it's fine. But yeah, the TRO unfortunately saves Alabama. In my opinion, I think it was a shady move, and Alabama should honestly be disqualified from the tournament. 100%. That's my thought. And that's not just me saying it's because it's Alabama. They intentionally played a player they knew wasn't going to be eligible, which is dirty. Like, that's so messed
and
up.
There's other colleges out there doing the same thing. Baylor has done it. There's a couple others that have done it. But let's have this conversation real quick before we move ahead, because it's already almost an hour and a half.
You're right. We need to wrap it up.
But let's have this brief conversation here. What are your thoughts on, because this was brought up in the lawsuit with Charles Bediako, the fact that Tennessee's got 2 players on their rosters that play professionally in Europe? What's the difference between that and the G League? Well, obviously, at least in my opinion, it's you don't have the college opportunities over there in Europe and in those places there. So the players coming out of high school, they go and they play professionally. Granted,
that's 100%.
But you don't make the money over there like you do over.
But it's not even that.
And it's not a pro contract either.
But I don't even care about that. It's the fact that Bediako went to Alabama and then gave up his rights of eligibility to enter the NBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to undo that.
And played professional basketball. It was G League level, but that is professional basketball.
So those kids in Europe, they never even had the opportunity to play college. Professional ball is their next step. So that's 110% different. That is 100%. That's apples to oranges. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. And I would say that even if Alabama had a player on their team right now that came from Europe professionally, I would say that they should be on the team. That's not a problem. But the fact that Bediako was on Alabama's team 3 years ago forfeited the remainder of his eligibility to go into the league. And then, oh no, I'm not as good as I thought I was. Let me drop back down. That is horse snot. I don't know how that was even possible. That's so bullcrap. But that is my thoughts, Michael. I hope I was very clear on that.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll move ahead. Talk briefly about the softball this past weekend. going 5-0.
Hey, how about Newer? Hey,
Aaron
how about
Newer.
my girl Newer? Hey, 2
Hey,
years in a row she get a
is it-
no in Texas. But
Is it bad to say that I feel like she got snubbed on Pitcher of the Week this past weekend?
without a doubt. Who did they give it to?
They gave it to Carlin Pickens. And
I
I
mean,
get
she
it.
probably deserved
I
it.
get it. She did have 2 appearances, both against Liberty and against Oregon, the 2
who's the
top 25
team.
opponents.
Yeah.
And
She
she
did
had
play-
she had a fantastic weekend. She only gave up 1 run, and it was unearned.
Dude, she
Only
owned-
7 hits and
Dude, she-
22 strikeouts.
Carlin Pickens owned Oregon. Like, actually,
she did.
She dealt the ball. I mean, not surprised, but let's be honest. Where did they play? It wasn't Texas, was it? I said Texas.
No, it was in Clearwater, Florida.
It wasn't Florida. I knew it was someplace warm, but I'm telling you right now, Aaron Newer. Because everybody's questioning who's behind Carlin Pickens, and I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We got some good pitching behind Carlin Pickens, and I hope that the world sees it, because unless you downloaded the app Game Changer like I did and watched from the all 11 view, because you got 10, all 10 view, I guess, counting the batter. Unless you had the all 10 view from behind the plate, watching that game on that app was kind of hard to follow, and I completely understand that. But man, I'm so excited till they get on ESPN Plus and we can actually watch them on an actual broadcast. And the softball team's going to be fun to watch. We are supporters of the Lady Vols. We got season tickets. So I will be going to some softball games coming up here shortly, and I cannot wait to tell you all about it.
Yeah. But no, to your point there, Aaron Newer, Tennessee.
Hang on.
Man.
Hang on. Would this not be – hang on.
Ooh.
This would
Tennessee,
be a rivalry. This would be heated.
Oh, yes, because
we just lost one of our best bats.
Who was that? It was
number 3. Can't think of her name.
I can't think of her name either. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. She literally got a bag to go to Texas, and honestly, I don't even blame.
I don't.
You're getting $1 million to play softball. I don't even think Carlin Pickens getting paid that, and she could actually. Let me rephrase that, and this is why I love Carlin Pickens even that much more. Let's give her the bone. Michael, stop giving yourself all the bones.
Mm-hmm.
Carlin Pickens came out and straight up was like, why would I throw away all the hard work and dedication I've given to the university who's got me to where I am just for money and like maybe the potential to make a postseason, but like not even be the reason why you got there, if that makes sense. So Carlin Pickens just laying it out there for everybody to hear it. She stayed home, definitely took a lot less money, no doubt about it. Not that Tennessee wouldn't have paid her. It's just I think she understands it's a team sport, and if she takes all the money, then nobody else on her team is getting paid, and then that could lead to a locker room issue. So shout out to Carlin Pickens. Taylor, yes, thank you, Rhonda. But Taylor, $1 million to go play at Texas Tech. I don't even blame you. I'm not even mad. I'm mad at Texas Tech. I'm mad at Texas Tech because they got that oil money out there. But I'm not even mad at Taylor. Like, dude, and shout out to ladies sports, like women's sports, being able to get that type of money too. Because I mean, obviously the demand for women's sports is just a little bit lower. I mean, generally, and I say this not trying to be a sexist, but I just feel like men are genuinely more competitive and want to watch sports. And that's why I feel like there is that big discrepancy between like WNBA and NBA. So the fact that Taylor was able to pull that off, I ain't even mad. But if Tennessee and Texas Tech go to the World Series, I think the ratings would be freaking crazy, bro.
Yeah, because right now, after opening weekend, Texas Tech's number 1, Tennessee's number 2 now. Both teams undefeated. Crazy. Oklahoma lost this past weekend. Texas lost this past weekend. I mean,
I think Oklahoma lost twice, but they won the series or something like that. They lost 2 games, but I think they won the series. I don't know. I wasn't following up too hard with it, but what a start for softball, man. What a great start. Got 2 ranked wins already. And I know Oregon was kind of a close game, but I'm telling you, man, Carlin Pickens dealt.
Yeah, this is what I'm on. Shout out to Grant Williams donating to softball. He is all Vol, that's for sure. He wants to see all the sports succeed. Another shout out I want to give in this is Elsa Morrison, man. Especially in that first game against BYU.
Elsa with a
3-run home run and then a 2-run double later in the contest. She now has the most RBIs by a Tennessee freshman, making her debut in history.
Hey, what I tell you?
Fantastic.
Hey, I told you, I said, if we had the slight uptick in offensive performance,
this team has got it.
This team is dangerous.
Very
I'm telling
dangerous.
you, from what I'm seeing right now,
They just need to keep it up.
It's too early in the season to be talking like this, Michael. Okay, it was opening weekend, buddy. We can't be all in right now. It's just nice to have a team that I think has it all on the table. Like, I mean, really, like Karen Weekly's been working her entire career for a team like this.
But you know what? We just saw a sliver of Tennessee's competition this past weekend. Have you seen the competition for this weekend in Clearwater?
No. What's up?
So this weekend,
who is it?
On Friday, we have a doubleheader, number 11, Nebraska, and then James Madison.
Yo, that's going to be a tough game because Nebraska still has that freaking dual threat player.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they?
I cannot remember her name, but yes.
Can't remember, but she owned us, I think, in the World Series.
Yep. She also she owned us at the beginning of the season last year as well.
Yeah. She is freaking good.
All right. Saturday, doubleheader against number 23, Florida Atlantic, and number 6, UCLA.
UCLA is a good team. UCLA beat us last year to start the year.
And Sunday, one game against number 7, Florida State. So we thought the competition this past
we're
weekend,
dropping a game. All right, like let's lower
we're
expectations. We may even drop 2 games this week, but that's not going to lower my expectations on how far we can go. I think it's going to be a great learning point for this team, but you can't face that type of competition in one weekend and expect to win them all. Like, there's no shot. That's not how softball works. So I just hope the Lady Vols only lose at the most 2 games. Is that fair? You just rattled off like 4 or 5 ranked opponents in like the top 10. Or what? Nebraska's 11, I think is what you said.
Yeah, Nebraska's basically a top 10 team. So you're facing 3 teams that are in the top 10. You're facing another one that's in the top 25. And then James Madison, not a shabby team either. They're not ranked, but no, that's a good team, that James Madison team. So
Rhonda, I think, is just kind of like, screw it, let's just beat them all.
You know what? We're going undefeated this season. We're winning the College World Series.
Could they
We're
do it?
We're not getting beat. No, because
honestly, look, Tony V broke the record for wins in a season in men's. Can Karen Weekly just do that? No, because I think Oklahoma actually has gone undefeated like multiple times.
They
never mind
gone undefeated. They might have only lost 1 or 2 games, something like that. But no,
yeah, it's fine.
Let's just win the whole thing.
They're cheaters. They were paying players like not like Nick Saban, you know, before it was legal. They were paying players.
Yeah. Exactly. But briefly, baseball, they get started Friday night. They're going up against Nichols this weekend in a 3-game series. And
home run derby.
I sure hope so. I want to see what this team is going to look like under Josh Elander. I don't think it's going to be a lot different than what we saw under Tony V.
I think it'll be a little different.
All right, how so? You are the baseball guy.
I don't think you're going to see the pitching dominance you've seen under.
I'll agree with that. I think that also has to do with the fact that Frank Anderson is no longer here.
Well, that's exactly what I'm kind of alluding to there. Yeah, I think the pitching is going to be. I think we're going to take a step back in the pitching, and you kind of seen this, and this is not all Josh Elander's fault. I think you kind of seen this starting last year as far as the bullpen just not being it. And our starting pitching honestly wasn't it every game either. I mean, we lost a series game, I think every series, because we just could not put it all together on a weekend. But I think this team's going to look a little bit different. And it's not even that the defense will be worse. It's just the pitching may take a step back. And I'm intrigued to see how that all works out. You can have less subpar pitching and have just a stellar defense and it not even matter. However, sometimes you'll just have those games where the defense, I mean, they're finding the gaps, right? So you just got to make sure that you find the answers for that. But we'll see, man. I'm excited about it. I do think offensively we'll be fine. I do think that.
I agree. I agree with that as well. Do you happen to have a projected lineup for what you think the lineup's going to look?
You told me to do this, and quite honestly, I don't know who in the world is starting. I don't know.
That's fine.
I think Manny Marin is going to lock down somewhere.
Here's what I have wrote down.
I don't even think Ariel Antigua is going to start.
I could be completely wrong on who is going to start because we did this last year, I believe, and we were way wrong on it.
Dude, I think I only got like 4 of the 9 total right. And wrong position.
We know the starting pitching rotation for this weekend. Friday night's going to be Tegan Coons. Saturday is going to be Landon Mack. And Sunday is going to be Evan Blanco. I will say,
Coons, I think, might be a dog.
I think he will be too. I will say I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not going to see Brandon Arvidsson this weekend because he came on really, really good as of late last season. But I definitely think we're going to see him probably a long reliever type situation because he's a really good pitcher.
I think he's just the wild card in the bag that you kind of want to save for those moments. You know what I mean? So
that could be the case. Here's what I have as far as the lineup, and I'm not going to do a batting lineup. I'm just going to go by position. Catcher, I believe your catcher is going to be Stone Lawless. I think he's pretty much got that locked down. Yep. I think first base, you're going to see some different players, but I'm going to go Levi Clark at first.
It's going to be who's the hottest bat, man. Probably. At the end of the day, they're gonna play who's ever batting the best. So this opening weekend and the next couple weeks to come, they're gonna lock that down for sure.
Second base, I'm gonna go with the transfer from Virginia, Henry Ford. Third base, I'm gonna go with Manny Marion.
He sounds like a historic character, like a Henry Ford. Like, I mean, honestly, and I don't mean to make like fun of his. I'm not making fun of his name. I'm genuinely saying like Henry Ford just sounds like a name that was around in the 1860s. Like
tried 1908.
Is Henry Ford who created Ford?
Yes.
That's why. I'm like, okay, right on. I was like, I swear to God, like that dude had to have created Ford. I didn't think that's crazy. I wonder if he's like related in any way.
I don't know. Maybe.
You think he drives an F-250?
Probably. Probably because of the name. So.
Get back to the
All right. Third base, I'm going with Manny Marion. I think he's going to lock down third base again this year. I do have Ariel Antigua starting it short, but I have heard some things that they really don't know who's going to lock down that shortstop position.
The problem is his defense is great.
Yes.
His bat is not. And maybe he takes that step forward this year.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm going to go with Hunter High in left field. Okay. Hunter High is going to play somewhere. It might be the outfield. It might be infield. He's going to play somewhere. That bat is just too good to keep out of the lineup. Jay Abernathy is going to play center field. And I feel like center field and right field is locked down. I feel like
Jay
Abernathy.
And his bat's fine. Like he's not a problem at all.
And right field is going to be Reese Chapman.
Again, bat's not a problem at all. I mean, he gets hot and cold, but overall, like you're at the end of the year when you look at the stats, he's probably going to be up there in your home run leader type. I don't know. I think he'll be fine. I think you're right.
I feel like of this lineup right here, I feel like there is 3 lockdown spots. Stone Lawless is your catcher, Jay Abernathy is center field, and Reese Chapman is right field. Those are your 3 lockdowns to start the season. As far as the rest of it could be anybody. I do think that Blake Grimmer is going to have a spot somewhere, but I did see that he probably will not play this weekend due to injury. That's why I did not have him in the lineup. But Blake Grimmer is going to play somewhere this year as well. That bat is really good.
I'm interested to see which freshman kind of ends up standing out. There's one every year, especially in baseball. You went through the lineup. You mentioned a transfer, but I don't think you mentioned like a true freshman. I expect sometime in this 3-game stretch, especially when the first series of baseball season, you're getting the win, but you're also you're playing some folks. Like this is not going to be the same road. Whatever lineup they come out on Friday is not going to be the same lineup on Saturday and Sunday. There's no way, in my opinion, there's no way he's got it figured out already this early in the season. So I'm interested to see which freshman gets the first opportunity and then which freshman makes the most of that opportunity, who may end up being a very key role of this team. I'm very, very excited to see that because if you remember now, this class came in under Tony. And a lot of this class ended up staying even after Tony left. So I'm really interested to see the buy-in from this class and to see who really stands out. And I'll take this a step further. I don't even necessarily mean pitcher because in my opinion, it's a lot easier to get your opportunity as a pitcher freshman because of the rotations and let's face it, if you're up by 10 after 2 innings, which I can expect in one of these games, you can play a different pitcher, if not 2 pitchers an inning. So I mean, I don't really. I'm more interested in the batting and the fielding of a true freshman that could come in and really take over.
See, looking through, I'm just gonna take a random guess at who I
pick
think
a hat out of the bag, my boy. Maybe look at the ratings out of high school, but I think they were all 5 stars. So I'm joking. But
you know what? I'm gonna go with a local kid from Middle Tennessee. Give me Hudson Chance from
give him a chance
in Brentwood. He's a basically outfielder or infielder, basically a utility player. That's going to be my guess.
You know, if you recruit shortstops, they can play anywhere. Now, personally, I hated that saying growing up because your boy was left-handed, and I only played in the outfield. So they kind of pissed me off. Thought I was never going to make it in college because I wasn't a shortstop. But I do understand the aspect behind it because, yes, if you're growing up, if you got a kid playing shortstop, he can absolutely play anywhere in the field. So,
did you ever play first base any?
I did growing up. But now, once I got into high school, I was too short. But now, in saying that, first base, typically, okay, and I don't think this really pertains to you, so don't get your panties in the wad. But like, at least in my school, you're like most unathletic kid was at first base.
That's fair. I mean, really,
Like,
that's kind of the way that it was.
If you're a good bat,
but
you just could not run worth crap. First base.
That's kind of the way it was my freshman and sophomore year. Now, I was first base junior year, which granted, I'm not the most athletic dude. I had a pretty decent.
But I didn't know if it was the same as your school. That's why I didn't want you to build. But like at Richland, you seen some of our first basemen, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Now, I will say, my senior year, on the other hand, I started off. I was going to be the starting first baseman, and then I'm sure you know Bryce Hagan, originally from Dallas County.
Dog. He's a dog.
It took one practice, and I said, Coach, I already know he's first base. Let me go back to my outfield spot. And he said, I'll do you one better. You're going to DH or you're going to pitch. I said, fine by me.
Yeah. I was going to say, he was a dog. We actually went, cool fun fact real quick. 15-year-old Babe Ruth All-Stars. Me and Bryce Hagan went all the way to the Southeast Regional. We had to play Florida twice in that tournament, but we made it to the championship game. If we would have won, we would have made it to the World Series. But we lost 6-1, and yours truly got the start in that game, pretty much because we didn't have anybody else. But Bryce Hagan, an absolute dog. I'll never forget. He got a picture at that tournament, which for us, man, that was like our Super Bowl, right, to make it that far. I mean, you made it past state, made it past your region. You were in the super regional whatever for Babe Ruth. But he had a picture there where he was in a dead splits when he scooped the ball. And I'm like, this kid's insane. Like, there's no shot.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that first practice. He was over there scooping balls, doing the splits, and I just looked at the coach and I said,
I can't do that.
I'll go do something else. He's got the spot.
Don't you dare ask me to do that. I'm out. Like,
shout out to Bryce Hagan. He's fantastic dude. He's even better teammate. I mean, but he was a very good family baseman. So yeah, absolutely. Well, Skylar, it has been a longer episode. It was a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of really
disappointment.
Disappointment. I mean, just need to get frustrations out on things, but also excitement as well for the spring sports, but also what could be in our winter sports.
Your basketball honeymoon didn't last long.
I mean, I'm still all in on basketball.
No, I know. I'm just giving you some crap.
Because both teams, they both have the same, the same ceiling and floor. They can make a Final Four run, or they can get beat in the first round of the tournament. I mean, that's just the way that it is. But no, I'm still going to be all in on them. But I'm super excited, especially after opening weekend of softball, to see what they do. And I'm really excited to see what Josh Elander's crew looks like once they start the season Friday night.
Well, we appreciate everybody being tuned in. Guys, do me a favor real quick before we wrap up. I hate to do this because I don't really like asking. I was looking, and we're 6 away from 500 on YouTube. If you could do me a favor, most of you guys that are here and watching, especially this late in the show, you probably are following our channel. But here's the thing. I don't care if you got kids, if you got mamas, daddies, siblings, steal their phone, look us up, follow us on the page, and help us get to 500. It doesn't sign them up for anything. In fact, they don't even get notified when we go live. They won't even know that they're subscribed to our channel. But at the end of the day, it would just look so much cooler if I look down and it said 500 than it does.
And you know what?
Like 494. Like,
and you know what? They never have to watch us.
No, they don't. I mean, I like for them to, but they don't have to. And if we're getting really desperate, just create another like bot account on your phone. Just create another account and follow us on that one. I don't care. Whatever you got to do your part to get us to 500, share the show, and we greatly appreciate you guys for being tuned in.
Skylar, just curious, how many of those did you create whenever we first started doing this?
4.
Because I was going to say, I think it's probably 2 or 3.
In fact, if I got to be fully transparent, I'm also 2 of our viewers right now. But, it's okay because we all start somewhere. And when we first started this thing, man, I would call up my entire family and we'd have 7 viewers in here. Like 6 of them would be in the same room watching together. And, but we all start somewhere, and it's the process, man. You gotta trust the process, bro.
Exactly.
So
Exactly, man.
we
No,
appreciate you, Rhonda.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Rhonda, especially over the last couple of weeks, she has been on from start to finish.
Yes. Which
And
is
that's
crazy
saying a
because
lot.
we're live for 2 hours at this point, and we need to stop doing that. Petition, stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. We got to lock in. But either way, it has been a great show, and we did talk about a lot. And I'm so glad that we asked about Joey and talked about all that because that has been some ongoing news that's happening. But you know, it's not a done deal yet. But I cannot wait for him to actually be eligible, and I just get to do that right there and just play it cool.
Throw yourself a bone that week.
I won't.
Because I threw myself a couple tonight.
I won't, though. I won't.
Yes, you will.
Because
You
we're all out of
absolutely will.
bones. I looked in the bucket. You've already thrown them all out, man. It's crazy. I need to go get some dog treats.
I
right,
got
but
some
no.
on the porch. So.
I bet you do, don't you? No, we appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one. And as always, go Big Orange.
Go Big Orange.